elaborate on the ignorance bit? You know, considering also that it's supposed to be the true state of affairs, with little trust or no trust to government and media and establishment, which was somewhat different beforehand. I'm just wondering from a preaching perspective, or just, you know, reaching people, how is that better or worse now as you see it, Maharaj? Is that easier or more difficult? Because, you know, people are living in sort of echo chambers, selfie style.
Yeah, so in the modern age we see there's just such a thick layer of ignorance, and there's so much misinformation. There's all these conspiracy theories which go around, and we're not quite sure what's true. Was 9/11 from the Middle East, or was it a US fabrication? All these things go around, we don't even know. So then the question we then ask ourselves is, what can we do in this age in which ignorance is so heavy? For a devotee of Krishna, trying to figure out the material world and what's really going on here is actually not really that important. Whether it was some Islamic group, or whether it was the Americans who orchestrated 9/11, to us it makes no difference. Because whichever one it is, the same truth stands true, that people, when they get possessed by materialistic ideas, they do crazy things. So for us as devotees, in the modern age we're living in, we're not really trying to figure out what's true in the material world. What we're trying to figure out is what's true in the ultimate sense of life. And in that sense, what I would say is that in this day and age, in one sense, we're actually at a benefit, because ideas and access to spiritual information is much easier. Look at these books here, right? We take it for granted. These books are on our phones, they're on our laptops, they're on our e-readers, they're on the internet, we have the copies at home. Hundreds of years ago, you would have to go to somewhere and get this hand copied to read it. And now we have so much access.
But if you view it from a recipient point of view, you know, people are reading apathy. People are, you know, disinterested in what's being presented with them, because it's all proven false again and again. So I agree from a devotee standpoint, but what about the recipient? How can we convince them?
Yeah. That's why it's necessary for devotees to be able to present the knowledge in a way that is interesting, inspiring, relevant, logical, scientific. That is the challenge for us in this day and age. How are we going to show people that the Bhagavad Gita can actually answer the problems of the world in the most practical and powerful way? So we have to be able to demonstrate that and have that depth of knowledge to be able to do that. Is that okay? Thank you. Yes, anyone else has any questions or anything you'd like to ask? It can be about philosophy, or it can be about... Yes?
So I was wondering why materialistic people, or people, for example, me, who are trying to indulge in this path of Krishna consciousness, are sometimes going in the wrong path.
Oh, that's such a great question. Arjun asked Krishna exactly the same question. Because Arjun asked Krishna, even though when I know what the right thing to do is, why do I still keep doing the wrong thing? And Krishna says, because you're attracted by immediate pleasure more than ultimate happiness. Have you noticed how sometimes we're more attracted by what gives us immediate pleasure more than what we know is good for us? Have you noticed that sometimes? Even though sometimes you may know that if you eat too many sweets, then it's going to cause you like health problems. But still, the immediate pleasure of wanting to eat the sweet means you still do it, isn't it? So therefore, Krishna says this is called lust. Lust means when you want to enjoy immediately, but you don't look at what is ultimately beneficial for you. So a devotee of Krishna, as they advance more and more, they become more and more stronger in mind. And when they become more stronger in mind, then they're able to not always give in to what feels good now. Yeah? So you can write one thing on your wall. No, don't write on your wall. Your parents might not be happy. You can write on a piece of paper and put it on your wall. Don't give up what you want most for what feels good now. Right? Always try to live your life in this way. Don't give up what you want most for what feels good now. Yeah. When your exams are coming, what you want most is that you do well in your exams, right? But what feels good now is that you want to go out and, have a good time. But don't give up what you want most for what feels good now. Because later on, when you do well in your exams, so many other good things will happen to you. Better things will happen to you, isn't it? So also, don't give up what you want most, Krishna consciousness, for what feels good now. Because if you wait and if you're patient, then the gain that you'll get later on will be much greater. Have you ever heard of the marshmallows experiment? So there were 20 kids in a classroom and they gave all of them a marshmallow. You know what marshmallow is, right? Like sweet. So they said, here's a marshmallow. If you wait for 30 minutes without eating it, then we'll give you another marshmallow. But if you eat it, then you don't get another one. How many of the 20 do you think ate it? Yeah, most actually ate it, even though they knew that if they waited, they'll get another one later. And then later on, what they did is they followed the 5 that didn't eat it, and they followed the 15 that did eat it. And they realized that in their future life, the 5 that didn't eat it became more successful because they had learned the art of not just giving in to the immediate pleasure, but waiting because there's something better. So is that okay? Does that help to explain it?
It was a very good explanation.
Thank you. So do you remember the sign you're going to put on your wall? What does it say? Don't give up.
What you want most for what
Feels good.
now.
Exactly. Thank you. Confirmed. There's some more people. Prabhu, can you sit here? Then some more can come in. You can also come in. And then you can come in. Yes. Nice to meet you. Doing good? Wow, someone's reading the Bhagavatam. Nice.
I just want him to read the Bhagavatam and some encouraging words. Maybe you can just write to him and just give it to him.
Okay, yeah, I'll do this at the end of this. Is that okay? Yeah. All right. Does anyone else have another question or something you'd like to know more about? Or yes.
What is a detachment? We are being told that if you want to move ahead in the spiritual journey, then you realize that this material world is a kind of cage.
Yes.
So then how you can break this cage with the tool of detachment?
Yes.
So how we being living beings living in this material world, how can we move ahead? How we can think of detachment?
Thank you. Very nice question. Yes. Do you guys want to come up here because you're smaller?
Yeah, but just
So
one
you
moment.
come
I'll take my
Okay.
prasadam and go.
Oh, here's your prasadam.
I just brought Swedish.
Okay, yes. No, sure. Do you want to come up here? Is that okay?
Good, please come. Come up, come up.
And then some more can come in. You can let Swarup Siddhi Prabhu out. He deserves prashadam.
For disturbing.
Thank you for the wonderful kirtan, Prabhu. Today it was so nice. Thank you. And please, you can come in. You can come forward. Okay, so
Yeah, no, I was maybe this little advanced question, but
I'll just answer Mataji's question first on detachment. Yeah.
my hearing.
Is that okay? I just don't know. Maybe I don't know if the kids can be encouraged to go outside. Is that possible?
The children should move away from
Yes,
the door.
yes. I think they are like they
We want them to play, but maybe out there is better in the sun.
No, they have a football.
Oh, okay. Anyway, just okay. Detachment. We have to live in this world. We have to function in this world. But at the same time, Krishna is saying we should be detached from this world. If we are attached to this world, then at the end of life, we'll have to come back to this world. And in this world, it doesn't matter whatever you do, there are always going to be problems and difficulties. Krishna says this is not our true home. So therefore, Krishna is saying we have to be detached. But what does that mean practically? What it means is that you're here in this world, you have to do your duties, you have family, you have a job, you have social responsibilities. You have to do all of those things with your best attention, with your best effort, your best endeavor. But what you realize is that those are not the things which are going to bring you happiness. We should not think that I'm going to work in this world and then I'm going to earn lots of money and then I'm going to have a beautiful situation and then we're going to live happily ever after. If you have that kind of attached thinking, then you will be, in the end, you will be frustrated in your life. So then what is Krishna saying? You should hand in your resignation, you should go to the forest, you should give up all your bank accounts. No. Krishna is saying work in the world. Do your duty. Take care of your family. Do your social responsibility and your dharma. But understand that real happiness comes from that which is beyond this world. Don't invest your hopes for happiness in the things of this world. So attachment doesn't mean you don't live in this world and function in this world and do your dharma. You do. But detachment means that you don't try to repose all your hopes for happiness in those things. Does that make sense? So in that sense, we go through, like Arjun was on the battlefield. He was still in the world, still doing his duties. But he was detached because he realized, I'm just a soul, I'm on a journey, and ultimately my real happiness is going to come from my connection with Krishna and what I'll experience beyond this world. Like that.
In knowing your inner body more.
Yes, your inner identity as a spiritual being. We have to maintain this body, the physical body, but we have to understand who we really are and feed the soul.
And that is through meditation only.
Yeah, you feed the soul through yoga. Yoga means connection, isn't it? So yoga means the process by which we as a soul connect with God. And within yoga there is meditation, there is reading, there is service, seva. There are all these different angas of bhakti, practices of bhakti that awaken that connection. Is that okay? Yes.
What is the ultimate way to reach to Godhead?
What is the ultimate way to reach to Godhead? Wow, good question. So Krishna says at the end of the 6th chapter, Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam sameyok tatamo mataha. Krishna says there are many ways to reach Godhead, there are many paths of yoga. Okay? But the ultimate path of yoga, the highest yogi, is the one who practices bhakti yoga. Do you know what bhakti is?
Yeah, like, respect.
Yeah, more than respect. Bhakti means Yeah, what comes from your heart?
Love?
Exactly. So Bhakti Yoga means the yoga of love. So the quickest path to get back to Krishna is you have to love Krishna. If you love Krishna, then very quickly you'll go back to Krishna. But right nowadays people say, I love orange juice, I love that movie, I love pizza,
Playing iPad.
I love the iPad. When the child said, iPad, iMac, iPhone, and the parent said, I pay. So yes, you have to love Krishna, but not you have to love, you have to love Krishna. The best is if you learn to love Krishna, because if you love Krishna, then you will feel satisfied in your heart. If you don't have love for Krishna, something will always seem like it's missing. So is that the quickest way to go back to Krishna, is develop your love for Krishna?
Yeah.
Because when you love someone, you feel close to them, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how do we do that as a children? Like, when do they
How do you develop love for Krishna? Therefore, there are many different ways. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma, Nivedanam. What does Shravanam mean?
Listen.
Hear about Krishna. What does Kirtanam mean? Singing. Sing about Krishna. What does Smaranam mean? Remember Krishna. What does Archanam mean? Worship. Like we worship the deity, the murti of Krishna. Vandanam. What does Vandanam mean? Pray to Krishna. Dasyam. What does that mean? Seva. Become a das. Become a servant. And Atma Nivedanam. What does that mean?
Meditation.
Give everything to Krishna. Who's ready? Put your hands up if you're ready for Atma Nivedanam. Ready to give everything to Krishna? Even your iPad? Everything.
Krishna owns
You're going to give your life to Krishna as well?
Yeah.
You ready?
We borrow everything from Krishna, so it's.
So you're ready to give it?
I can't give it. He already has it.
You're ready? No, but it's in your possession right now.
No, it's in Krishna's position. Whatever that is in my position.
Okay, good.
Krishna's position.
Wow. Here you go. This one's for you. You're more qualified than me, I think. Yeah? Yes, Atma Nivedanam. Who gave everything to Krishna? Who is the example? There was a famous king. He gave everything to Krishna. Ali. Because Krishna came as Vamandev, as a small dwarf. And Bali said, you can have anything from me. What do you want? And what did he ask for? 3 steps. Who knows why he asked for 3 steps? Okay.
Please, so that he can turn larger and then he can.
Yeah, but that's what he did. But why are 3 steps? Why are 3 steps? Why is that significant? Because, okay, look, you stand up. Yeah. Go right back.
Here.
Now step 3 times. 1, 2. That's 2. 3. Okay. Why did he ask for 3 steps? Can you see? Okay. Lie down. See? That's why Vamandev asked for 3 steps. Because what do you need? Okay, you can get up now. Because what do you really need in life? You don't need much. In Hindi they say, roti kapra. You need some food. You need some clothes. You need some place to stay. And you need to lie down somewhere. So he said, I don't need so much. I only want 3 steps. Bali Maharaj said, I can give you anything. You just want 3 steps? Yeah, 3 steps is fine. But then Vamandev became very big. And with his 2 steps, he covered all the universe. So he took everything. And then he said, but you promised 3 steps. So then he said, where? You have to give me some place. You have to keep your promise. So where did he say to put the 3rd step?
The head.
On his head.
On the head. This head has no hair. Yes, on the head. And in this way, but that's why it signified Atmanivedan. That's why when we do Dandavat or when we do pay obeisances, then you put the head down. Actually, it's meant to signify Atmanivedan. You give everything to Krishna. So yes, how did we get onto that? Oh, you were asking, how do you develop love for Krishna? But the thing is, you have to do these things every day. Krishna consciousness is simple, but what's hard is the everyday principle. I can chant, great. Can you do it every day? That's hard. So you have to do it every day. You have to try to wake up early, every day. Every day, even on Sunday, even on the weekend when I don't have to go to school. Yes, you have to wake up every day. And if you do it every day, have you ever seen when you go in the nature, sometimes there's a rock and there's water which is dripping? Do you think ever water can create a dent in a rock? Can it? It's just a water drop. How can it create a dent in a rock?
Continuous.
If it happens like many and many times.
Yeah, if it's dropping every single day, then that water, even that water can create a dent in the rock. Have you seen? It's amazing. But that you have to do every day. Therefore, Madhvacharya, he says, I don't judge a person by what they do in one day. I judge them by what they do every day. Therefore, we have to try to apply ourselves every day. On Sunday, everyone is inspired, especially after the feast. But Monday morning, that's a different story. How are we all going to feel tomorrow morning when the alarm goes off? Will we be ready to again come to Krishna and take shelter?
Kind of.
That's the problem, kind of. You have to be convinced. You have to say, yes, I will. Bruce Lee, he said, I don't fear the person who knows 1,000 different types of kicks. I fear the person who knows one kick but has practiced it 1,000 times. Yeah. So if you chant many rounds every day, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabu Noi Shravanadi Sudechite Kareye Udoy. Love for Krishna is already in your heart. You don't need to get it from anywhere. But if you do hearing and chanting, you will awaken it. But we are not so serious. We're serious about many other things in life. But when it comes to Krishna, I like Krishna. He's nice. But how much commitment is there? Hare Krishna. Anyone else? You had your question. You have another question? We'll come back to you. I have to ask everyone. Yes.
I was thinking, we go to the temple to see Krishna, and I'm wondering what is Krishna seeing when he looks at us?
Every day we are seeing Krishna. But when Krishna looks at us, what is he thinking? Well, that depends on what you're doing in your life.
Yeah, but what
If Krishna if you're in your life, you're utilizing your time in the right way to do the right things, then Krishna will look at you and be very happy. And when Krishna sees that you have so much opportunity, but you're not taking it seriously, then Krishna, although he wants to come and, shake you up, he'll look at you and be patient and pray that maybe you will become more serious about finding real happiness. So therefore, Krishna is concerned. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna, who has come to this age in Kali Yuga, he says, I have a big anxiety that there are so many souls out there who don't know their real self-interest. If you want to know what Krishna feels like, just think about when there's someone you love in your life. If you're a parent, if it's your children. And then when your children are coming in front of you and they are very, very successful, they're doing well in all respects in their life, how do you feel? And when you see that they're wasting their time, they're not taking it seriously, how do you feel? Same with Krishna. Because Krishna is Aham Bija Pradapita, he's the ultimate father. So he's also looking for our well-being. So if you don't want Krishna to be in anxiety, then become serious about finding spiritual happiness. Then Krishna's anxiety will disappear. He's in anxiety. So therefore Haridas Thakur says to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I'm in so much anxiety. They're all lost. Haridas Thakur said, Prabhu chinta na kariha. Oh Supreme Lord, don't be in anxiety. We, your devotees, we will go and we will help them. We will spread the holy name everywhere. So the devotees become very dear to Krishna because they are relieving his anxiety by helping other people come back to him. Therefore Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Nachatasman manusheshu kashkin me priyakritama bhavita nachame tasmad anya priyataro bhuvi. If you want to become priya, understand what does priya mean? Dear. If you want to become dear to Krishna, then help others to come to Krishna, because Krishna is in a big anxiety. He's in a big anxiety. So he wants to see everyone happy. But we think we have other better plans for happiness. And then we have to suffer. So that's very painful for Krishna. So yes, Krishna is a person. He also has emotions. Sorry?
I didn't expect that he has anxiety.
Krishna has a lot of anxiety. Yes, he is more eager for us to go back than we are. If Krishna was not in anxiety, why would he make so much efforts? Why would he make so much trouble? Why would he make so much arrangements? He does. But we are like, yeah, Krishna, just now coming. Just now coming. Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Yes, Prabhu.
If the ultimate goal of every soul is to go back to Krishna, the place where he lived, then why in the beginning...
why did we leave in the first place?
Why we came here in the first place itself? Why he kept us here?
This question is a sure way to give yourself a headache. This is a very puzzling question. If we were originally in the spiritual world with Krishna, why did we desire to come here? You see, we exist in the spiritual world with Krishna in a relationship of love. In order for love to exist, there has to be free will. Can there be love without free will?
No.
No. Like if I lock, now all of you are in this room and I say, okay, so lock the door, no one's allowed to leave until you love me. Well, I don't know. I mean, someone may eventually say like, yeah, I really love you, just because they want to get out. But they really won't come unless there's free will. So Krishna doesn't lock the spiritual world and force everyone to be there. Krishna says you're here, but if you desire to go somewhere else, then you have free will. I'll never take that away. And if a spirit soul misuses their free will, then they come to the material world. Now you may say, but why would you ever misuse your free will? Because if you're in love with Krishna in the spiritual world, why would you even be curious to experience anything else? Someone may say. But the spirit soul, it's not that they're dissatisfied in the spiritual world, but they just have a curiosity. What would it be like to be separate from Krishna? So then Krishna has to create the material world for you to experience.
But if there was no material world, then the souls will not have that curiosity. Because
No,
there
it's
is
the other way around. If the souls never had the curiosity, there'd be no material world. Krishna didn't create the material world, we created it. Because we had a curiosity, Krishna then said, okay, now I have to create the material world to satisfy your curiosity. So it's like saying, if there was never a jail, then there'd be no prisoners. Is it the jail that causes people to commit a crime and go to prison?
No.
No. They do the crime, they have to do the time. The prison is created because people commit a crime. It's not that people commit a crime because there's a prison there. Oh, there's a prison there, great, I'll commit a crime then. No. See? So Krishna, he gave us free will. The one thing that Krishna gives us which he never takes away is free will. Because without free will there's no love.
Okay, then generally it is also said, suppose we do something good in this life,
Mm-hmm.
and in our next rebirth we take it from there. Suppose we have tried to come closer to Krishna to some extent.
Yeah, then you carry on from that point.
So
Yes.
if originally we were in the spiritual world, it means we were there after going through all of those cycles and we have done so much good.
No, you were originally in the spiritual world. And then you came down. And now you're trying to go back.
Okay, but being in the spiritual world doesn't mean that we were having so much love for Krishna already that in our next birth we should have already in one or two stages like...
No, you were perfect. You were in love with Krishna, but you had a curiosity. Now the problem is, once you have a curiosity and you come to the material world, then many other material illusions come about, which then implicate you more. Put your hand up here if you ever told a lie. Did you ever tell a lie? And did you notice that sometimes when you tell one lie, what do you need to do after that? Tell another one. Because if you told one lie, then later on you need to tell another lie. Otherwise they'll find out that your first lie was a lie. So you need to tell a lie to cover up the lie. And then later on, what do you have to do? You have to tell another lie to cover up that lie which covers up the first lie. And before you know, your whole life, many, many lies. So when you come down to the material world, that first misuse of free will then compounds. And many other illusions come.
When it was like ideal world to be in the spiritual
Yes.
along with Krishna, why would
we ever desire to leave?
Yeah, leave, or maybe what curiosity would be there? Is it about the curiosity?
Yeah, it's curiosity. It's curiosity. What would it be like to be in a different situation? It's not that the soul is dissatisfied or the soul is unhappy. It's just curiosity. And in English they have a saying, curiosity killed the cat. We are also curious, isn't it?
Yeah, means my point was like, it was a great world. We are along with Krishna.
It was great, yeah.
Yeah. So why would what would make like so not to come?
Yeah, it's okay. Now I was not going to go deeper into this question, but I can see you're not fully satisfied. So now I have to go deeper into it. But this is a little philosophical, so you have to try to follow me, okay? I'll tell you why it's impossible to actually answer this question. Imagine this is the Earth planet. Okay? So the Earth planet has its time frame, isn't it? We have 1 year, for example. So this is the time frame. Now what happens in the universe is that as you go higher and higher, time actually dilates. Okay? So the highest planet in the material world is Brahmaloka. So in Brahmaloka, 1 day in Brahmaloka is like 6 months on the Earth planet. Okay, understood? You're with me so far, right? When you get to the edge of the material world, time stops. When you go into the spiritual world, there's actually no time. The spiritual world is a timeless place. Okay? You with me so far? Now my question to you is, can you ever leave a place that's timeless? If you say yes, my next question is going to be, when? And my next question to you is, can you ever re-enter a place that's timeless? And if you say yes, my next question is going to be, when? The reason why we can't put our finger on this question is because we are trying to understand it as a linear narrative. One day I was in the spiritual world, and then the next day I decided to leave, and then the next day I met the Hare Krishna devotees in Copenhagen, and then the next day I went back to the spiritual world. And we're trying to frame it as one story. But you can't frame it as one linear narrative because the narrative is spanning 2 different time dimensions.
Yeah.
It's actually said that when you go back to the spiritual world, it's like you never left. So does that mean we never left the spiritual world? Yes. But does that mean we're always there? Yes. How does that make sense? It doesn't. It's beyond our logic. It's beyond our logic. That's the point I'm making. I guess the easiest way you can think about it is like, like sometimes if you fall asleep in the day and you're just asleep for like 7 minutes or something, but you fall asleep so deep that when you wake up you think, oh my God, I was sleeping for the half the day. But factually only a few minutes have passed. So the spiritual way is something like that. This is real, but it's almost just like a dream. But right now we're in the dream, it seems so long. But actually, it's not even that, because that takes time. It's just basically a flash in eternity. But while you're here, feels like a long dream. So this question is complex. It's a complex question. But these are some...
You gave a very good explanation, yeah.
Just the messenger. Yes. Oh yes.
No, it is just that Srila Prabhupada here often said that it's not so important to understand why we left. Because like you're saying, actually in one sense we did not leave. So why, if we can be Krishna conscious in a second, then why are we not Krishna conscious?
It's not that our main question to be. It's like, for example, if you're in a house and it's burning, then in that moment you don't start asking like, okay, how did this fire start? Quick, get the investigators. Where did it exactly originate from? Maybe it's down there in the kitchen. No. It's on fire. Get out. So it's like that. Some questions we don't over-occupy our mind with. Main thing is to get out. But sometimes we need to satisfy our intellect. So we can in one sense say we never leave the spiritual world, and we can in another sense say we left the spiritual world. And you may say, but they're contradictory statements, but they can still be true. Like say for example, there are so many things like that in the world. Like say for example, if I say, the pen is mightier than the sword. Agree?
Yeah.
But then what about if I say actions speak louder than words? Agree? Yeah, you do agree. Yeah, context. Yeah, they seem contradictory, but they're both true. Or if I say, for example, birds of a feather flock together. True? But then I may say opposites attract. True? Not contradictory. But they're still true, both of them. We left the spiritual world. We didn't leave the spiritual world. Well, okay. Because the truth is multidimensional. We just want everything. Like, I want it summarized, put it on one line on a t-shirt. What's the answer? But some things is more complicated, has many layered. Thank you for
We'll still be curious, Prabhu, in this world.
Prabhu is endlessly curious.
My thing is like, if you want to go back to the
Yes.
spiritual world,
Yes.
is there a way, means, of course, you'll say chant Hare Krishna, and everyone is trying to do that, but what are the chances? Because we all will be curious no matter what we do, right?
Oh, you're saying once you go there, what if you make the same mistake again? Is that what you're saying?
No, to go back there.
Oh, okay. You already defied the odds by coming to the Krishna consciousness movement. How many people came today? 100?
200.
Okay. How many people live in Copenhagen?
1 million.
Million? Really?
A million and a half.
Okay. So you do the maths. I don't know how much percentage that is.
Small. Yep.
Small.
0.1%.
In school, you always wanted to be in the top 1%, right?
This is better.
You're better. In the top, elite of the elite. Creme de la creme. You defied the odds by coming here. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam sahasreshu kashkit yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kashkit maam veti tatvata. Out of many thousands of people, one may endeavor. And out of those that are endeavoring, maybe one knows me. So you're right, even amongst those who are coming, only a few people will take it very seriously. So out of thousands in Copenhagen, maybe a few will come to the spiritual journey. And out of thousands who are trying the spiritual journey, maybe a few will make it. Krishna says to Arjuna, think about it and then do what you want to do. There's 50, 20 or 30 of us in this room. When we walk out of this room, we all have a decision to make. How seriously do I want to take it? When all is said and done, you have to fly your own plane. So that decision is up to us, just as it was Arjuna's decision. So, it's rare, but it's possible. So, you already defied the odds by coming here, now defy the odds again by being the one who takes it seriously. Basically, we're at the end. Imagine, they used to have marathon races, and then right at the marathon race, then all the athletes come into the stadium. And they have to run one more lap. And when they come into the stadium, they ring a bell. And what does the bell signify? It's the final lap. So if you think about it, all of us now, we're on the final lap. You've gone through all the species of life. You've gone through all the different experiences. You've gone through all the ups and downs of the material world. And now you've come to the point where you're at the gates of eternity. You're at the gates of Goloka Vrindavan. Now, if an athlete, after running the whole marathon, comes into the stadium, everyone is cheering. Yeah, this is it. And then if he just looks at it and he says, oh, it's too much, I'm tired. Then it's like, oh no, that's so agonizing. Because after all of that, right at the end, you give up. Or right at the end, you become lazy. Or right at the end, you just become very casual. Then it's like, oh no, that's the worst feeling ever. Okay, you missed out, run the marathon again. But you were so close. So don't underestimate, you're very close. Goloka Vrindavan is within, what do they call? Touching distance. It's just here. But if we become a little lazy, it's okay, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it. Yeah, let me just finish off a few things in my life, then I'll come. May miss it. Yes, sir.
Prabhu, I have a question. So we'll come back to this Monday morning thing. Every day we put in like 8-9 hours in office and all, right? And then sometimes we put in a lot of energy into things. Sometimes they go according to us, sometimes they don't go and all, right? And if they are on the other side, we feel a lot of disappointment and all. Knowingly or unknowingly, we get attached to those things. That if you get a promotion, then you all of a sudden start feeling happy. If you doesn't have a good day or a rough patch, then you always feel like disappointed, down, and
ups and downs of life.
Exactly. And at that point in time, the energy that we have right now, right, it's sort of a very high level. But at that point in time, how do you convince yourself that okay, there's a larger picture, Krishna's thing? How do
It's like, you play computer games? Sometimes you play computer games, right? What, PlayStation?
No PlayStation.
Okay, wherever you play. Just for example. So say for example, he's playing a PlayStation, FIFA soccer or something. Right? So he's playing the game. He's like, oh no, they scored. And, like he's totally into the computer game. You're looking at him and you're thinking, it's funny. You're thinking, it's just a computer game. Why is he becoming so emotional about things? Because you have a bigger picture. So now you have to understand this world is like a computer game. We take it all so serious, and I got a promotion and this and that. What is all of this? It's a flash in eternity. So how do you develop that depth of consciousness? For that you have to constantly be immersed in Shastra. You see? Because what this does is it broadens your mind. It helps you to get the bigger picture. Why do we get worried or why do we feel extremely excited about material things? Because we're making a small thing much bigger than it is. But when you've got the bigger picture of Shastra, then you're able to see all of these things in context of the bigger picture. And then you don't become so bewildered by it. Therefore Krishna says to Arjuna, Dukeshvanudvigna manaha sukheshu vigataspriha vitaraga bhaya krodha stitadhi muni uchyate. Krishna says, one who is not disturbed by misery and one who is neither elated in happiness, who is free from fear, attachment and anger, is called the sage of the steady mind. So the amazing thing is, Krishna says to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, tolerate distress. And then he tells Arjuna, tolerate happiness. Tolerate happiness? Tolerate distress. That makes sense. Why in the world do you have to tolerate happiness? But Krishna says, even the happiness of this world is all anitya. It's all temporary. So if you get excited by something of the material world, then know for sure that there's something around the corner which is then going to disappoint you. Because what does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? Yehi samsparsha jaboga dukkhayo naya evate. Krishna, it's amazing the words he uses. Do you know what yoni is? You understand? Yoni means the womb, isn't it? A child is conceived in the womb. So the womb is, when the lady is pregnant, then there's an embryo in the womb. So, you know what Krishna says? Sukha is like the dukkha yoni. Happiness is like the womb which is pregnant with distress. So if you accept happiness, then you're also accepting the distress that's pregnant within it. Therefore Krishna says, Adyanta vanta konteya nate shu ramate buddha. Material happiness has a beginning and an end, adi and an anta. Nate shu ramate buddha. If you're intelligent, you will not become carried away by this. Therefore, we have to remain very sober. So much material success may come in life, but we should not get carried away by that. It's amazing. Sometimes the success that people get in their life, it ends up spoiling their life. You follow all these people who won the lottery. Become a millionaire overnight. Could you imagine of anything better happening in your life? And you go and see them now. Some of them are broken people. Because dukkha yonaya evate. All this sukha comes with dukkha. Therefore, sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labha jayo jayo. Krishna says to Arjun, sukha dukkhe same kritva. Be equal. Be steady. You may say, how? That means I don't have any emotions then? I just become cold like a stone to everything? No, your emotions are in the higher realm. Your emotions are now in Krishna, and therefore your material emotions don't affect you as much. Does it make sense?
It's more like practicing those things.
Yeah. You like the philosophy,
like
but
good. But the moment we get into practice,
that's why I told you every day. The more and more you're in touch with Krishna every day. What did I say to you? Bhagavad Gita is a recipe book. Do you feel your hunger going away just by reading a recipe book? Yeah, I was starving, but then I read the recipe book and I was completely satisfied. No. The recipe book gives you the knowledge to then cook it in your life, and then you eat, then you feel satisfied. So just by read, you have to live it. And live it means every day you have to be connecting with Krishna. Every day you have to be talking to Krishna. Every day you have to reveal your heart to Krishna. When we're chanting, it's not a ritual, it's a conversation with God. Imagine you didn't talk to your, you have children?
Yes.
Yeah, imagine you didn't talk to them for 1 year. What? Yeah. No, I love them, but I don't have time to make a telephone call. Then where's the relationship? So are you calling Krishna every day? That you have to ask. Unlimited minutes. Unlimited data. Unlimited free text messages. Timeless. Krishna's number is there. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Take it seriously.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, can you tell the 4 principles?
Tell the 4 principles. Which 4? The ones we should not do. The 4 regulative principles of freedom. So number 1, no meat eating. First, let me tell you the history of how it comes about. Parikshit is traveling around the kingdom. He is trying to make sure that Kali doesn't take effect. Then the personification of Kali is attacking a bull and a cow. So when Kali sees that, when Parikshit sees Kali attack the bull and the cow, then he says, how can you? Bull is the father, cow is the mother. How you can kill the cow and the bull? Therefore Parikshit says, I will kill you, Kali. And then Kali says, no, no, I surrender to you. So if you surrender to a king, then they cannot kill you. It's not allowed. So Kali said, no, no, I surrender to you. You have to give me somewhere where I can reside. So then a very famous verse appears. Abhyartitas tada tasmai stanani kalaye dudo dyutam panam striyasuna yatra adharmas chaturvida. Parikshit said to Kali, yatra adharma, in that place, those places, chaturvida, those 4 places where there are adharma, that's where you can stay. So what are those 4 places? Dyutam. Dyutam means gambling. Panam. Well, you can understand what that means. In India, everyone has pan, isn't it? So panam means intoxication. Striya means illicit connection with the opposite gender. And sunam means meat eating. So Krishna said to Kali, wherever these 4 activities are going on, you can reside. And therefore as devotees we make the vow, no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit connection with the opposite gender, and no intoxication. Because as soon as you do these activities, it's going to bring complexity in your life. Actually, even if you take out scripture and you look at these 4 activities from a sociological point of view, every one of them creates so many problems. Meat eating creates health problems. It creates so much starvation in the world. Meat eating, climate, so many things. Intoxication makes people commit so many crimes, disintegrates their health, wrecks families, problems. Gambling. So many problems come from gambling. People start doing all kinds of crazy things to support their habit. And then illicit connections between man and woman, that promiscuity in the world creates so much problems. So forget even about what Krishna is saying, like even if you look at it from the point of view of the world, it would be crazy to do these things because they're just going to make life very difficult to live. Is that okay?
Onion garlic.
Yes, also within the no meat eating, there are also other things like no onion, no garlic, no mushrooms. No tea! Oh my God, no tea! Everything is okay, but not tea. Krishna.
Half of the ladies
Masala chai. Yes, even tea is considered intoxicant.
At least there's 2.
But you can have herbal tea.
You can
Or
take
you
Krishna's
can.
name and then take tea. To start with.
Herbal tea, you can have. Rooibos is good. You can have rooibos. That's also nice. It's not so different to masala tea, isn't it? Gokul tea. You have it here? Gokul tea? They have in Denmark?
No.
Anyway, you can find alternative. You want to have tea?
No, is coffee okay?
Decaf is okay. Otherwise, caffeine is... See, these things are clouding our consciousness. You want to have a clear consciousness. But anyway, try. Try your best.
Prabhuji, I have one question. It may be a silly question, but I don't know. So that's the reason I'm asking. So when we cook food, we always, I don't know, I always remember God, Lord Krishna, and then prepare food. Then I offer to God. Then while eating also, again I have to think God and eat because I already offered to Him. And then I mixed in with my all the foods. Then
Yeah,
while
you did.
eating, also we have to take God.
Mataji,
That's
it's
already
like
the
this.
common,
Mataji, it's like this. When we develop love for someone, you can't stop thinking about them.
right? Yes.
You have children, no?
Yes.
Yeah. You have a daughter,
Son.
son. Okay. So you will not say, oh, do I have to think of my son? Do I have to think of him while I'm making it? I already cooked for him. Do I have to think of him? No, it's naturally it's coming to your mind.
Yes.
Right, isn't it? Because love is there. So in the beginning, we have to force ourselves a little bit to focus our mind on Krishna because our mind is so many different places. But gradually what will happen is you won't be able to stop thinking about Krishna. Once all the gopis came together and they were telling each other what they dreamt about Krishna last night. So one gopi said, oh, I dreamt this, I dreamt that, I dreamt this about Krishna. And then Radharani was quiet. So they came to Radharani. They said, you're so quiet. What did you dream about Krishna? And then Radharani, she put her head down and she said, dream about Krishna? Dream about Krishna? All night I couldn't stop thinking of Krishna. I couldn't go to sleep. So we are not there right now. So for now, while you offer food, you try to think of Krishna. While you prepare the food, you think of Krishna. And before you take your prasad, you say a prayer to Krishna. And then, while you're eating, you just try to be conscious, be aware, but you don't, it's not like a crime. Oh, I did not think about Krishna while I was eating. It's okay. Right now, remembrance comes and goes of Krishna. One devotee, he came to Srila Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada, I don't know what to do. Sometimes I forget Krishna and I fall into Maya. And Prabhupada said, you are always in Maya and sometimes you remember Krishna. And gradually that change is taking place. Already you see, from Krishna consciousness you've been practicing now, the things that you were attracted by, the things that you were always thinking about 5 years ago, are you thinking the same things now? Yeah, you think different things now. You have different desires. Because you change. Gradually it will come more and more to Krishna. So it's not a force. It's not like, oh, I didn't think of Krishna, I'm a failure, that's terrible. No, you just try and then gradually it will become very natural. Like it's natural to think of your children in love. It will become natural. We can go on and on, I don't mind. Some of you may be sitting here thinking, when is this going to end? We need to get out of here. Tomorrow is Monday morning. So are you okay? If someone needs to leave, please don't feel that it's rude to walk out because I understand. So I'm just putting that disclaimer there. If you need to, please feel okay. But otherwise we can have a few more questions. Okay, 1, 2, and then 3. Yes, ma'am.
Maybe I'm a little bit confused. I try make question because my husband did last month in May, and I don't know how because we built in our relationship 23 years. I come to Denmark from Russia 2000 years in Denmark,
2000,
and
yeah.
he is a Danish man. And we built in our, how explain, space
Yeah.
between us, how share gladness and good or bad experience. We had many things in our family. And now I don't know how healing this space, because I don't can share play guitar, music, I sing and I draw art.
You do many activities, yes. But you feel there's some gap.
Don't speak with him.
Yeah.
But I don't know how, because my family also love him. And I don't can explain to my mother, to my family. But he was not like Indian, Russia relationship with friends. He loved life, walking in library, reading books, and we talk and we travel, we walk. And
Mataji, is very difficult what you have been through. This world is a painful place. Therefore Krishna says, Dukhalayam ashashvatam. It's temporary and full of misery. Therefore Krishna is telling us we have to try to go to the other world. But now you have to live with this, some emptiness in your life. It's natural. Even after Arjun heard the whole Bhagavad Gita, on the 10th day, on the battle, his son died, Abhimanyu. And when Arjun's son died, then Arjun went to that place and he cried. He knew, he had all the knowledge of the Gita, but he cried. And Krishna sat there and comforted him. Because when someone leaves this world, it doesn't matter you have knowledge or not knowledge, naturally there's pain in the heart. So what can we say, Mataji? Life will not be the same, but life can still be beautiful. You still have many more things to do in this life. You have many more beautiful experiences to have, and you have many wonderful opportunities to serve Krishna and find spiritual happiness. So even though there is a gap in your life, there are still so many meaningful things for you to do. So you come here, this is your family, you come to the community, you serve Krishna, and gradually, we're not saying that you won't feel the pain anymore, but what will happen is you'll realize that that time you spent together was very beautiful, and now you have to move on to the next chapter. Oh, thank you. And now you have to move on to the next chapter. So, our thoughts are with you. We are sorry to hear that you had to go through this pain. But he leaves from this world with many spiritual blessings, so his future is very bright, I'm sure. And you have to carry on. And you have to carry on in your life. Continue. And everyone is here. We are here with you. You're not alone. And your life will still be beautiful.
I don't can change law of our life. I don't can stop.
Yes.
Say people live forever. I don't can.
What can we do? We are not in control. Everyone will have to go through. So.
You come to temple every Sunday. You come to temple every Sunday. Feel good.
And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And definitely Sunday. Yes. Yes, Mataji. You're from Spain, Mataji?
No, Colombia.
Colombia, okay. I thought it was Spanish accent.
I think so the one point important in the process we getting in the process of Krishna consciousness. It's important that we have to be honest.
You have to be honest, yes.
Honest ourselves of sincerity, and don't lie for us. Just everything what we do, we have to get conscious what we do in the sins. If we act in the bad sins, we have to know that we receive the consequences. So as more we getting conscious in every detail of every single day so we live, because Krishna gives us this knowledge. And slow, year after year, we develop this connection pure with Krishna. It's
with
a
Krishna,
relation.
yes.
It's a relation with Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's some kind of for me, for example, I have my deities in my place. For example, I was this year, 3 months, I was traveling, and when I come home, I just open the altar and say, thank you, Krishna, I am back. Thank you for these trips on you give me. But I feel so happy to be with him, and I feel that he listened me. Because I see the face of the deities. I don't know if there is a false illusion, but sometimes I see the deities smile with me.
Yes.
Because everything is happening in this moment in my life is because Krishna. And
Sure.
I move my finger because Krishna's desire. It's not me. It's not me. And then when we lost the attachment, material attachment, it's growing, slow, and we lost this attachment, material attachment.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I tell you, it's so nice feeling. And don't thinking anymore about the many things material, so before I suffer or we suffer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting this kind of the happiness. I test this pure happiness.
Nice.
So it's no matter, it's no see, it's no text, but exists energy of Krishna. And then one of the things on I practice is that remember every day, the nothing is mine. No, my life is not mine. Nothing, absolutely nothing is mine. And this helps to realize my life. Because when I think it's nothing, I have to live today. If I am lucky, if you, Krishna, give me the chance and wake up in the morning, I'm so happy.
Yeah, this naturally happens in Krishna consciousness. We feel this gratitude. Oh, it's wonderful, Mataji. You are experiencing, you are practicing this so deeply. Thank you.
It's year after year.
Every day. Every day.
The small things,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your experiences. Wonderful. Appreciate that. Yes. Thank you for making the journey.
Yes.
They came all the way from Sweden.
We go back to Sweden.
Happy travels.
Thank you.
See you soon. I think we'll do the last question and then. He asked also many. You can ask. And him, I got a question for you later on.
I was thinking if I can have 15 minutes of yours.
After. Okay.
Just 15 minutes.
Okay, last question then, Mataji.
I think knowing is something, but holding on to that path is different thing. Sometimes we know this is all not practical. We need to
go beyond
this.
Mm-hmm.
The moment as strong the feeling get, we need to go beyond this. The moment the distractions are so strong, the moment we realize yes, we are going through this this path, without our knowledge, we are being
distracted.
Far away, distracted so far. that we don't even realize what we are thinking about.
Yes.
Both are so strong, the distractions as well as this path. So how to cut that circle? How to cut that circle?
That's why I told you, every day you need to set aside some time for sadhana. Ideally, you need to do it every single morning, between 5 and 6, between 6 and 7. 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever you can do, you need to do every time, every day, some time where you are not thinking about this world. In that time, it's just you and Krishna. In that time, you remember the ultimate purpose of your life. In that time, you remember, I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm a spirit soul. In that time, you remember, this world is not my true home. I need to get back to the spiritual world. And when you spend that time, and then you come out into the world, you will be a different person, because you've spent time doing sadhana. But if you don't do that sadhana every single day, then you will again get into the identity. Oh, I'm a business person, I'm a mother, I'm, this role, that identity, and you will forget your real identity. Therefore, in spiritual culture, they would say, isn't it, Brahma Muhurta, the 1 hour before sunrise. You have to use that time to do spiritual activity. Anyway, their kids are asleep, unless they wake up with you and chant. So that time of day is not busy. Only problem is, can you wake up? The sound of death, the alarm clock. So you have to become a little disciplined. You have to wake up. Rise before the sun. Every day you have to tell yourself, I have to get up before the sun rises. No question. If the sun beats me, that's not a good day. I must rise before the sun. And the first thing is, remember who I am. Sadhana iti sadhana. Your sadhana, your spiritual practice, is your sadhana, is your eternal wealth. No, my wealth is how much I've got in my bank account. My wealth is my overseas, tax-free, tax haven account in Switzerland. My wealth is my No, sadhana, iti sadhana. Your real wealth is your spiritual practice. Because that will reveal to you why you're even here, and it will keep you focused.